This week's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Entourage.
And Mercenaries 2.
And the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. Will this melt in there?
Yes. Throw it in.
Adios.
And the chip.
It's over.
No. There is one more chip.
Three rad dudes with nothing better to do get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise to the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 75. I'm Alex Albert.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show is your weekly dose of all things rad, and welcome to our lovely 3/4 to 100 show. Which
It's
is
crazy!
What?
Yeah, I know. We sort of.
Dan got crazy.
I know. I'm not gonna lie to you. We sort of didn't realize the impact of it until right as we were like, well, what number is it?
I may or may not have lost $5.
There was a $5 loss that happened.
75th episode.
75th episode.
What the?
Congratulations, guys.
Jesus.
Congratulations.
You only do your 75th episode once.
And that we just did. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Handshake it.
Hey, let's talk about their background. It's
Let's
cool,
do that.
dude. I have been so addicted to Geometry Wars this whole week long, and this is a
Yes.
really cool
Matthew Irwin sent this in. Thank
Geometry
you,
Wars
Matthew.
background. I've been in a heated score battle with a few of my friends on my friends list, and Don Fubar, who has just smoked me in a lot of the scores. But I want you guys to start playing so we can
that we
like
can
have
hit.
some battles.
Back in action, baby.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Oh, you're back from your vacay.
Yeah, welcome back, dude. Dan was in
Welcome.
Philly all week.
In Chicago and New York.
In Chicago, New York, but mostly Philly.
All three.
All three.
Yeah.
You really had the
you have fun?
triad.
I had a lot of fun.
And congrats to Dan's sister.
She's preggers.
Prager's.
No, she's not preggers.
Prager. She's Prager's.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. What did I do that was cool that I mentioned? Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Good.
Well, on that note, let's talk about some cool stuff we can talk about.
This week in movies, we're talking about Death Race. It's the remake of the Death Race 2000, the Roger Corman, Sylvester Stallone schlock fest. I didn't see it. Did you guys see it?
Never.
Oh my Jeebus pants! Death Race 2000, Solar Babies,
Rollerball. not Solar
Rollerball.
Babies.
No, Solar Babies.
Okay.
Rollerball. Cyborg. I'm trying to think of these
weird
movies.
futuristic
No.
movies?
These are
Toxic
movies,
Avenger?
Movies in the '80s that I remember going to Arrows because I got some tweets. Love your Arrows.
Yeah.
And renting like I would go and be like, let's watch Death Race 2000 again. Let's watch
Yeah. It missed.
Childhood.
I missed those. I missed Rollerball and Death Race. I was lumped in the same thing in my brain. I was too young for it.
Yeah.
And then when I was old enough, I never remembered to go back.
Yeah.
It's different than this movie. Death Race
definitely.
2000 is like it's like a cross country, and they're running over real people. There's no prison, right?
No. It's the population of the country is too big. So what they do is they do this race where you gain points by killing people along the path of this race.
Awesome.
Dude, so many
battle royale a little
so
bit.
many freaking funny moments. Like this guy's going for this like one old lady's running because like old people less points than young people.
Wow. Did it take place in 2000?
Possibly.
must have.
Possibly, yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Well, this one.
I know, that was in 2000 in the 80s. This one is in 2012 in 2008. It's like...
This one is set in prison. It seems like to me, it felt like this was originally a screenplay for a video game, like Twisted Metal, the movie, rather than...
Or Full Auto.
You know, that they just adapted to fit into the death race thing. But it stars Jason Statham as a funny.
Jason
Statham as a prisoner who's in this society. In 2012, they now have a game, kind of like the Running Man, where they take prisoners and they make them kill each other in this death race for freedom, but not really. And it's televised over the internets. And Jason Statham is our hero. It's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who's sort of known for these B-rate action flicks. He did the Mortal Kombat movie, Resident Evil, Event Horizon, the first Resident Evil, though he's written some of the other ones.
Right.
But I think many people forget that his first film, he discovered Jude Law. He made a British film called Shopping about car thieves shopping for cars, and it featured one of the coolest car chases I had seen at the time. It used
hands waving in front of cameras.
It used
going like this in front of the camera.
Red cones in the middle of the street, like at a construction site, as like this like whiffle for speed. Yeah, it was really incredible. And now he's doing Death Race. What did you think of it, Alex?
Oh, I get to go first, Ace. First off, I did not want to go see this movie. I kept asking, are we reviewing this movie? Because if not, I don't want to go see it. So I had zero expectations going into this movie. I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Oh, not a blast?
I had not a blast. Should I have had a blast?
I don't know.
Do I say that a lot? Then in that case, I had a blast. It was really fun. It was like stupid fun. You know what I mean? Jason Statham is a freaking movie star. That dude standing in a room is, it's just, he's just such a captivating individual. And I love the other cast is always so funny. I mean, Ian McShane, I love Ian McShane. You can't beat Ian McShane. So I had a blast. I mean, it's stupid. This is not a highbrow film. This is a film where people are running, careening around a corner. You know, the thing that I will say about this film is that it really made me feel like it was an 80s crazy, over the top, Mad Max and the Thunder, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt very like this is a movie that I remember growing up seeing. Quality-wise, I mean, blah, you know what I mean? But I just had way more fun than I thought I was gonna have. I thought it was gonna be painful every second that I was sitting in it, and I actually had to pee and didn't want to get up to pee. And then I came back and I was like, why did the stabbing start?
This is where Alex and I are very, very different people.
Yeah.
Because it is a B-rated film, and I'm going to
R-rated.
Going to B-rate it right now. It's garbage. It's tripe. There are massive plot holes in everything. When video games kind of went to the mainstream, I was really excited because, I felt like we were going to have the influence of movie storytelling on video games, but unfortunately, it's a two-way street also. And I mean, this movie really is a video game, and it has no more story than Full Auto did, the Sega game that came out a few years ago. It's garbage, and I almost think it's not even worth talking about. And normally I would yield my time to the gentleman from Philadelphia, but I'm going to use the remaining bits of my time to say the movie I did go see this week that everyone should go see is Vicky Cristina Barcelona, the new Woody Allen movie. It is a joy. It is the sexiest movie you'll see all year. It is wonderful performances. I think Penelope Cruz deserves an Oscar nomination. Go see Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Fantastic. And don't go see this garbage.
Okay, Okay. You know, I also was dreading seeing the movie. I didn't like it very much, but I also feel, I agree with you, Alex, more in that it is. I didn't have fun, but if this sits very firmly in its genre, and I think a movie like that is to be seen by people who haven't seen very many of these movies. Like I ate up Cyborg and Kickboxer, and this is sort of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of its era. And when I was 13, and that was the first action movies, Commando, Running Man, I loved it. And my dad was probably like, Daniel, you could be watching much better movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a Woody Allen movie that you.
Well, no, not even that, but like so it's either for those people or if you eat the genre up, if you love this kind of thing. And the director Paul W.S. Anderson is very good at doing that. And I have to say also, he is a visualist. And there's always something cool about his movies. I really don't enjoy many of his movies, but there's always cool stuff. There's always visually striking. This is not.
What was the cool stuff in this one?
Just the way it's shot.
Dude,
really?
Absolutely.
I found it to be completely not fun.
He does great.
Oh, man.
Very kinetic and really cool, pulling out of the whole of this to reveal that, and this graphic wide thing, and then
if this was a video game, it would be the most boring, repetitive, not fun video game.
I don't disagree.
All the action stuff. Well, it may as well be. All the action stuff. Why do we have a 3-stage race? There's no reason for that, and each of the stages is identical to the one before. It's completely boring.
You gotta survive the first 2 and then win the last one.
No, but you don't. It's about winning 5 races. That's how you gain your freedom.
Yeah,
not
but
winning.
you need to No. Those are the stages of the same race.
But that doesn't matter.
We still need to win 5.
Wait,
you want to win.
Let me just say, I don't think this exceeds the genre. This is not a great action movie.
It's a terrible action movie.
It's not a terrible action movie by any stretch. It is a good popcorn, guys exploding, cars, souped up cars. If you like cars, you're gonna love this movie. It's like gearheads this is.
Now, what I would say, if I were to be more critical, I think that the stakes could have been stronger. I think if I had cared about Jason Statham, then I would have cared more about the race, and that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I think the cars could have been a little bit more. They were all sort of the same tone, the same color, and especially from a visual director like this, I would have expected something more so I could follow the action, which is the only thing. In a car chase movie, I want to be.
Are you a car guy? Because for me,
I'm not, but I'm a car chase guy, and I think there's a way of directing car chases.
I agree with that.
And it's all about grammar, and the grammar could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, but for me, I picked up on the fact that there was, a Ford Mustang Cobra.
Oh, you picked up on that because of the big close-up on the Ford Mustang sign? Insignia?
No, Jeff.
That everything was dirty and it was clean?
Dude, that's why I picked up on the Porsche 911. It wasn't because the Porsche sign was anywhere over it. It was because I know that's a Porsche 911. I am a huge fan of the Shelby Cobra. I almost bought one. This movie made me actually regret that I bought the Beamer instead of the Cobra. So, but I'm just saying, as a car guy, that might have been more of a distinctive choice. Because I knew who was in what cars because of the type of cars.
The internal logic.
I agree with you.
The internal logic of this movie doesn't even hold together. But her whole point, the villain's whole point, is that it doesn't matter who's in the mask, and then she can't figure out how to kill him. Right? It doesn't. But even more than that, the action itself isn't fun.
I don't disagree with you, but what I'm sort of saying is that the same thing applies to Cobra and Commando and Running Man.
We're not reviewing any of those movies.
No, I know, but
that's what I enjoyed about it. That's why I think you're refuting the list of things that I remember that I watched.
I'm saying that in Cobra and Commando,
it's a stupid movie, and that's what I agree with you. You're right, but I feel like
the action isn't even fun. That's my point.
Okay, well,
it's fine. You
didn't enjoy the action, but I still feel like it fits firmly in its genre. It does not exceed it, but it does not sink below. There's a movie like Resident Evil Extinction or the sequels to Resident Evil dip far below the genre and are actually poorly made.
I'm telling you right now, if this movie comes on HBO and you're sick, sitting in your bed, you will eat this freaking movie up, just like I did the original Resident Evil movie. I didn't go see it. Which made me want to go see it, you know what I mean?
I want to talk real quickly. There is a trailer out now. Actually, the day this comes out, I think, or the day after, August 25th, you can buy on DVD, The Pit and the Pendulum, short film. It is produced by Ray Harryhausen. I really want to talk about this.
That's interesting.
I really want to talk about this because Ray Harryhausen is someone that we know from our childhoods that many of our viewers may not know. He is the genius behind stop motion animation.
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans,
King
Jason and the
Kong.
Argonauts. I don't think King Kong.
Didn't he do a version of King Kong?
I don't think.
I thought he
maybe
did,
he did
maybe
the
I'm wrong.
70s version, but I could be mistaken.
Jason and the Argonauts.
Mysterious Island. Anyway, so
Legend.
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 And there's a variety of stop motion. There's a variety of those kinds of effects, right? We can talk about them in movies like Star Wars, where like the Rancor, for instance.
Yeah, or
it's a regular
Tauntaun.
movie with live action in it.
Yeah.
Or there's movies that are made like Nightmare Before Christmas
Right.
with live action. We don't see these anymore. So I kind of just want to, in general, hear your guys' sentiments. What your
Rankin and Bass, you know, the
Yeah.
old Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah,
Reindeer.
every couple years, Tim
Burton will produce something.
Will throw something out there. You know,
Right.
Corpse Bride, whatever.
Well, it takes a few years to make
It takes
those
a long
movies.
time to make them.
Yeah.
I love
Wallace
this
and
stuff.
Gromit movies. I
Yeah.
adore the Wallace and Gromit
Yeah.
movies.
I'm excited, and it's funny that you bring up Pit and the Pendulum because the Pit and the Pendulum was a 80s horror film that I remember. Same with like Phantasm or was it Phantasmagoria? No, that was
No,
the big one.
Phantasm
Yeah.
had the
Phantasm
silver
with the
balls.
ball.
Yeah.
Silver balls of death, my
Yeah.
friend. That's
Silver
again
balls.
same type of
Australians.
stuff that I eat.
Same
up.
director as the Beastmaster, Don Cascarelli.
Another amazing
Yeah, I
movie.
mean, I remember the movies like The Gate that had. There's those series
Yes.
of movies that had stop motion creatures, and those for some reason
Yes.
scared me because of the way they moved. They
were
were
so,
so
like,
freaky.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't
Or
we
the
have a-
Doll Master series.
Isn't there
Puppet Master.
sorry to interrupt you. The
No.
Clash of the Titans remake being happening?
Yeah, Lawrence Kasdan writing, and the director Louis Leterrier, who did Incredible Hulk.
There's something almost.
Like you wish they were done this way?
Almost.
Now the interesting thing that I wanted to say, really, I thought about this when I saw this trailer, was like, you know, up until when we were kids, until CG came out, for 80 years or so, special effects were all done the same way. Like King Kong, the original King Kong from the 30s, that was done stop motion. It had improved over the years. When we saw Star Wars, it had improved, but it was all done the same way. And now that art is gone.
Mostly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we could bring it up today.
The art and animation guys are still doing it. You know.
And maybe this Pit and Pendulum,
Run.
check out Pit and the Pendulum shortfilm.com. Maybe you'll pick up
With
the
the
DVD.
in the front.
With the Pit and the Pendulum.com.
Worst URL ever.
Longest. Okay, so we have received a lot of very interesting things in our mailbox.
Thank you, by the way.
Thank you for everybody who sends those interesting things. But when some certain things pop off and we go, oh, we gotta shoot this as a segment.
Yeah.
One of these things, vinyl iron-on shirt thingies.
We've gotten a lot of compliments on the shirts that we've worn on the show. And
Yep.
thank you very much.
But Claudia
Yeah.
from Bozuki.com, which is BOZUKI.com, sent us these iron-on letters.
So we're actually
to
gonna make our own.
shirts. So we went to Target, the French version of Target. We bought ourselves some T-shirts, which is the Spanish version of the word T-shirt, and we are going to be preparing. So
This is the sort of TRS does DIY.
it is, and we are probably not
Something
going
we're
to
not
do
good
it
at.
super well because we need to go
We're pop
to.
siren all of a sudden.
We are pop siren all of a sudden. So we're gonna go to Bozuki.com to check out how these things are applied, and then we're gonna rock it.
I think you just put the things on and you iron it.
All right, let's do it. Fuck this shit. We're doing it. Ha! Bleep, bleep, bleep. So here are the different. So did you pick a color?
Well, I'm doing it based on availability of letters for what I want to do. P.
Not a lot of letters.
No, I know. This is part of the process.
There is an exclamation point in this one.
Oh, these are backwards.
Yeah.
I will also say that I will give credit where credit's due. That the concept for my T-shirt is copyright, patent pending, trademark, Jeffrey Canano.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
So I think what I'm going to try to do is first lay it out and then see what you guys think, then iron it. But
I have to
worry
admit,
that
I'm
when
not thrilled with all the fonts.
So first things first, not sticky.
I don't know what I'm doing yet. Well, there's no @ sign. We've discovered that. And I'm also, yeah, I can't use these. This is blue. My shirt's freaking blue.
We are terrible at this.
Well, but this is what it is. We don't know what we're doing.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
And so now my question is, should I have that little like,
Arc.
yeah, what's it called? The Corel Draw arc,
Totally correct.
right? You know what I mean? Like that was the thing that blew my mind in Corel Draw. I was like, you can arc text wherever you say it's arcing.
I don't know what to do for mine.
Is it weird that the word is now losing all meaning to me? I'm gonna leave the room. I'm gonna come back and look at the shirt.
There's not enough E's, dude.
It's a great shirt. That's a great shirt. I'm gonna do that. That's my shirt.
How can they only have 3 E's? There needs to be more E's.
Jeez,
I don't
know
like what I'm
doing.
doing here.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm out of E's, people.
This is so stupid what I'm
What? What are
trying
you
to
doing?
do.
Are you gonna do They Might Be Giants?
Maybe you should have a mix match mish'em up. It's just a bunch of letters, and anybody asks you, and you say,
Good
well,
luck.
that's a word jumble.
Is it just do it, guys?
I think. I don't know. We didn't watch the instructional video.
Okay, I think I might be done.
Oh, fuck. I don't have a good idea. Damn it. What if I did show enough?
Oh.
In honor
died,
of,
you know.
In honor of Julius Carey.
Okay, let's make some words. Let's call.
Oh,
let's step back. Take a
God.
step back.
I know.
I have to say, the most difficult thing about this entire process is getting the words to line up. I mean, it's very difficult to line
I
the words
disagree.
up.
It's coming up with what you want in your shirt
Well,
to
when
say.
you're as creative as me, I don't have that much of a problem. Now, can I get a impartial eye to tell me if that's square? And
It
not,
looks square to me.
It looks square to
I wish
me.
you had a box surrounding it.
There's no spelling errors anyone sees?
I wouldn't
That would be awesome if your shirt.
had spelling errors. It's about
I'm convinced what's gonna happen is I'm gonna put it on and it's gonna be totally off center and lame looking and
is-
all crooked.
Now, what are we gonna do with you?
That's not cool.
Shotgun is not as cool as it sounded when
I like the
yelled
letters.
shotgun.
It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like
A Western game.
What if it's
The
just?
Mav.
What if it just says Top Gun?
I aim to misbehave. We're gonna need a bigger boat. I'm gonna need a bigger shirt.
BYOBB. Wait, no, what was it? Dude, what about We'll Work for Gold?
That's not me. It's for you.
I know, I like it for me. I should make that.
That's good.
It's not me.
Dude, make that shirt, and then can I borrow your shirt? Put director on the front of your shirt. Wear
Like
a
I'm a
shirt,
fucking
wear
cool
a
guy?
shirt that says director. I hardly knew her.
The dishes are done, man. I don't have the words.
How about last of the petty cash?
RIGHT. Hold on. Do I have another T?
What about follow me on Twitter?
What about Danny TRS?
That's so stupid.
If you had an @ sign, would it work? At Danny TRS?
It would be better.
Let me go looking for an @ sign.
Should I just do show enough? That's so stupid. Just directa your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza. Nope. Not even the first word.
You like a de juice?
Damn. How many gigawatts? What's in a gigawatt? Gigawatt. I can't even do gigawatt.
Ooh.
What about there's no I in teamy? My name's Paul.
Dude, what about Nads?
Nads?
What about you fuck?
Let me see what Nads looks like.
Delicious. Tea drinker. Isn't there
It's the
like
National
a
Association of
Dan supporters?
of Dan supporters. Dude, that should be. Yes, put periods.
We have 2 periods.
We got more periods.
Why? What's with the periods, guys?
National Association
Association
of Dan supporters.
But no one knows that.
Yeah, but
They
the
do
fuck-
now.
If you want to be
National Association of
Dan
Dan supporters. Or NADS for short.
Guys, this is so stupid.
It's not
I'm gonna
stupid.
go home with my girlfriend and I'm gonna be. I want to be
This is
proud of the
nothing
thing
we
I
do-
made.
nothing
And she's
we
gonna
do on
go.
this show
What
is
the
for
fuck is that?
Dan
I'm gonna go.
supporters.
The National Association of Dan Supporters.
Or NADS for short. In all fairness, it should be an International Association of Dan supporters.
INADS?
Ian's.
Ian's.
This is like creative writing exercise with just these letters.
Just Dan.
No.
That's who you are. Don't deny who you are. How about vote Dan?
Would you wear that shirt?
No.
What's like a location in the movie? Tugs my shorts.
Not lost. I am lost.
Jack Bauer ate my babies. What's my favorite word from a thing?
Guts.
Voltron.
May the Triforce be with you. Guts, do you have it? Look at what we got here. Don't hate my guts. I ate barf burger. I couldn't even do barf. I couldn't even do barf. Brain Games is now over. Would be awesome.
Okay, let's try this.
B.
B.
B. What's up?
R.
R.
A.
I. We
I.
must have an
Why
I.
is, there's an I in there?
I have a couple I's. Another
A.
A.
Other A.
Was it?
There's another A.
M.
M.
E. Another S. We have
Another
another S.
There's an O.
W. I got W.
We need another N.
I don't have an N on this.
You don't have an N? I got an N. I got an N.
Oh my God.
Wait, there's an O.
V, there's a V.
There's a
We
V
got
right
V.
here.
E. You only use an R.
Oh.
There's an R!
Oh my God.
Is this gonna make you proud when you're with your girlfriend?
Yes, I'm gonna be so excited. She's gonna be like, I never watched that.
I
It's not
think
ads.
you really missed. I think you really missed an opportunity with the National Association of Dance Supporters.
I agree.
So we
High
are
pressure and heat, but
what
not
3.5 hours into this
Great
process,
adventure.
and Dan
Is it hot already?
Actually, is ready to.
It's gonna get hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just want everybody to realize, no matter how Steve edits this, although he could edit this out as well, I was done in about 10 minutes.
I've been kissed by a rose on the lips.
On the lips.
What's the word? What are the words?
Great.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because you were so confident that you had it right.
No,
You were like,
I knew it was wrong.
"Kissed by
I knew I didn't know what I was doing. I was just
on the
riffing.
lips."
I can't wait for a day becomes a man karaoke.
It looks good.
Looks good. All right, so we're finished. Jeff has placed jetpack here.
That's where the jetpack goes.
A little off center, but we love him. Speaking of off center, I actually like this a lot.
No, I like it
looks
too.
Like it looks like something you'd buy at Urban Outfitters.
You know what it looks like? It looks like an ESPN ad.
It does look like an ESPN ad. I love it.
Can't see, but
That's all right. And then of course, I'm gonna say the winner. However, with a caveat,
Are you sure?
also the least ambitious.
wait, why is
Least
yours win over
ambitious.
mine? For instance,
Because Jeff told me it did. You were in a
I would give the win to him, but it's very
Why?
close second. It's so close.
I will say, I think we all did very, very well.
Yeah.
For people who have never made shirts before themselves,
Yes.
we did very, very well. I will wear my shirt. Are you gonna wear your shirt?
I'm gonna
I
wear
want to see that shirt on you. I think that's a great shirt.
I want to see that
Jeff,
shirt off of
are
you.
you gonna wear your shirt?
I would like to think that I would, but I can't tell how bad it looks. I will have to say that we tried
I
our
want this
damnedest to get them all aligned correctly.
Our damnedest?
Our damnedest. To get them all aligned quickly, and it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Not easy.
No.
There has to be an easier way to do
Lasers.
this.
System of
Lasers.
rulers.
Yeah.
Rollers and lasers.
Dude, that's what you could have put on your shirt. Laser.
Well, we got
Still,
more.
the idea is. See
got
how hard
more.
it is?
Yeah, we gotta edit.
Okay, there were some big video game releases this week, but I wanted to go back and talk about a game that came out a few weeks ago because Dan actually brought it to our attention, and it's Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution. And Sid Meier is one of those, kind of like Ray Harryhausen, one of those legendary video game designers. He was actually the second person ever inducted into the Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame after Miyamoto. So that's how big a deal he is. He's been around forever. He designed games like Railroad Tycoon, Civilization, long, interesting history of really smart, kind of, you might say educational games, if that didn't sound like such a bad word. You know, it sounds like, oh, I
It's
don't
not
play any of that.
not Math Blaster.
Right.
Right.
But games that are really kind of about the real world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Civilization series has been around a long time, and Civilization Revolution is the first release of that series onto the consoles. The game we played was for the 360. I actually played a little on the DS as well. But yeah, the game plays about the same. It's a turn-based strategy game. You start as one of, I think, 16 different
There's a bunch of cultures.
Exactly, cultures from across the world. And you start in the Stone Age and you progress all the way to the Space Age. And you can do a whole variety of things, like developing the culture of your town or city, to developing different kinds of governments, making a military, making lots of money, and the last way to win is, help me out.
Fighting, dominion,
Right.
economy, culture, and science.
Science, technology. So developing different kinds of technologies. Well, let me hear what you think of it, Alex, because it might on the surface seem like a game that you wouldn't necessarily gravitate toward.
Correct, on the surface, and also in it.
Well, but it's interesting because I think it's a lot like a lot of the card and board games that we love. So I'm curious.
Yes.
And computer games
Yes.
like World of Warcraft.
Well, I mean, well, we can go back to the videotape and recall a younger Alex, maybe 12 months younger, saying that the thing he likes about even all those things is
Multiplayer.
community.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just friends. So, and I've said many times on the show, I'm not an RTS guy. Not an RTS.
Well, this isn't RTS. This is turn-based strategy.
I'm not a TTS. Whatever it is. I mean, to me, RTS, I guess that's real-time strategy, yes, but turn-based strategy, for me, it kind of goes hand in hand. The hoarding games.
Okay.
Where you're mining and hoarding. And not as a profession, side to the game. Anyway,
You're the horde and you're a miner,
I'm a
so
miner.
right.
none of those are true. So, for me, it's like tough. I get into it, and I did play this game pretty good. I got through like 4 phases of my.
Did you play to the end of one? Like, did you play till a country won?
A winner?
No, I did not have that much patience for the game.
All right.
Because it's just, to me, it's like, I get the game, I get how to play the game, I get how to win the game. It's just the process of that, to me, is just unenjoyable. So I'm gonna say for the review of this game, the enjoyment that I had for the game goes out the window. And I will say, there's a lot of really great stuff in this game. It was, the interface was great, If you are into this kind of game, I think you'd really, really enjoy it. I thought the graphics were really cool. I'd never played one of these types of games on a console before, although I played the Lord of the Rings one that EA put out like maybe 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever, which was fine, but it was a little
Very
bit
different.
more
That was an
twitchy-witchy.
RTS.
Yeah. But it's again the same thing where it's sort of like, how does that translate? I mean, there's so many different options when you got a keyboard or a mouse for being able to do different menu items and stuff like that. So I think if you are into this type of experience, it's a good game. I mean, it definitely, the carrot and stick approach of it was good for me. I mean, when things happened, I was like, woohoo! If I was enjoying this game, that would have been awesome. You know what I mean? Like, just sacked another village, bitches. But again, that just for me personally, that process wasn't fun. But I think it's a game overall.
Well, I'm curious to hear what you think, because not only did you play this, but this propelled you into the more, a lot of people say deeper, less...
Arcadey.
Yeah, less arcadey Civ 4, which is the PC Mac version of the game. And I'm very curious as to what the differences are, because Civ 4 was a game I didn't even play, because you hear about these 10-hour-long campaigns, and it was a little intimidating even for me, somebody that digs this kind of stuff. But
well, I played the demo of this, and I must say that reaching the end game, is little sparks flew up. I was up till like 4 in the morning just playing the demo. It just takes that much time to play this game, as I saw on your Twitter. But and when you get to the end game and you're playing and you're just building your culture and you're doing these things, but then when you get to the end game and you have a limit on the amount of turns left, you suddenly have 5 turns left and you haven't yet done what you need to do, suddenly in me, I was like, oh shit, this is a game I need to be playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that then launched me into the stratosphere, and I went on a mad dash to get this game. They didn't have Rev, so I got Civ 4. I installed it on my Mac, and I was up till the next morning
so tell me
playing
about
the
the
game.
differences between the two.
It really,
because a lot of people say this is the console version is the nerfed version. It's for dummies.
It's definitely the nerfed version, but
in what
it's
way?
darn close. like in this, to build armies, you group your 3 armies, and that's your army.
Right.
In the regular version, you just amass all your troops, and you select them all, and you choose and you can combine all your forces.
Interesting.
And you control how many workers come out and what each individual worker is doing and what exactly they're building. Really, workers is the main thing, I felt. Like in this, you don't even see workers ever.
You can control them into what they specialize in, but
pick
you really...
what structures being built and then what army forces are being built. In Civ 4,
you can control
you can say what it is that they mine. They're mining. They're getting money.
Right,
they're making
right.
science.
But you control how many workers are.
They are making.
You just
science.
you just sort of have control over each individual palette, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you
It's a
can
little
imagine
deeper.
it's just a little bit deeper. Exactly. That's the shorthand. What this game does, the console version does, Rev does, is when you fight, the graphics are better.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Interesting.
When you fight,
That doesn't
you
surprise
see the fight, you see the fight, and you see your troops dwindle. And in the regular version, you just in just Civ 4, you just sort of see it blink, or you just sort of see it, and then you don't see your troops dwindle. So when you're watching in the console version, you're like,
very much so.
Yeah.
Especially when your attack power and their attack power, your lower attack power.
That's right, but you think you can pull through? Amazing.
Yeah.
And the animations, like when you build science and you can see that stuff. It's all much richer than Civilization 4. I must say, Civilization 4 has the best song of any game ever made. I remember hearing it Video Games Live, and I've downloaded it, and then I got to play the game. It's some gorgeous song. It sounds like a Hans Zimmer Power of One type score, Baba Yetu or something. It's amazing, and that's not in Civ Rev, which is unfortunate. Civ Rev also, like when the people give you caravans,
Yep.
you get to see that stuff. You don't see those gifts in Civilization 4. What I love about this game, I mentioned that when you realize it's a game, is that you're responsible for everything. This is not a game I thought I would like to play, this style of game, like Alex.
Right.
But also when it clicked in for me that I am responsible for everything. At the beginning of the game, you just feel like you're doing whatever SimCity-ish style stuff. You're just building and it's all going okay. But as difficulty comes in,
It's all going okay.
When difficulty
Then
enters the
horror.
game, you realize you are responsible. It does matter. All these little choices that you're making matter. And that's all video games. It's like choices and how they affect the game. But in this, it's like on this grand scale and because you play for so long, you just feel the epicness of it.
I absolutely adore this game, and I'm really glad that we got a chance. I mean, it's interesting over the last 3 weeks, we haven't even hit the fall season yet, and I think there are 3 legitimate Game of the Year contenders right now: Braid, Pixel Junk Eden, and Civ Rev. I'm blown away by this game, and it makes me sad that I didn't play Civ 4.
Well, you should. You still can.
I will.
Yes.
But like you said, I think the graphics are great. There's a joy to seeing all the things created. We haven't even talked about the fact that the things that you create, you can create wonders of the world, and there's modern wonders and ancient wonders, and they're all real world things. Like you can make the internet, but you can also make the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the Great Wall of China, and you see all that stuff constructed, and the game does a beautiful job of creating cities that look dynamic, and if you create your city in between 2 mountain ranges, it'll fit that city in there and build those things around in a really cool way. That's really fun. I do have a few gripes. I don't like how you manage your units. I suspect on the PC it's a lot easier. You haven't used the D-pad on the 360 to switch between where your units are. It was a little clunky. And the tutorial, I think, is terrible. When you first play the lowest difficulty, it has a tutorial, and I felt it didn't really teach me the game. I kind of had to play a few times in order to really get it. But once I did, great. And going up in difficulties is so satisfying. I highly recommend this game. It's the kind of game that doesn't sound fun, but I think it doesn't. Because you learn stuff. There's great people that come, and they're all historical, people from that great thinkers, great scientists, great architects. All that stuff sounds like, oh, it's history class. It's boring, teachy stuff. This game is a blast to play. Okay. Moving on to one of the big games probably the biggest game at E3 that nobody got to see. Like 4 people got to see it, Ngai and a couple other people were talking to me about it at E3. They got one private session. It's called Heavy Rain. And it's from the developer called Quantic Dream, and these are the guys that did Indigo Prophecy. Did either of you guys play Indigo
didn't play
Prophecy?
that.
You would love that.
I know it's.
It's
yeah.
basically the next evolution of a like Sierra Entertainment style
Yeah.
adventure game. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So this is their next game. It's a PS3 exclusive title. It's going to be out in 2009. The video is up behind us, and this is the first gameplay footage that they've released. Everybody was really wowed at E3 about it. What do you think about the footage that we saw?
I really don't want to play it because it's going to scare me. And I just don't want to play it, and I'm going to have to because we do the show. It is a game that I would avoid because I literally
Really?
feel.
You know what, Dan?
I actually
we should get together and play
them
together.
together.
I'm serious.
Like with a blanket?
Yeah. I actually.
I mean, Jeff,
Garlic,
you can
garlic.
too.
It's actually like Bioshock.
Shotgun?
Bioshock at night and Resident Evil, like those games, I don't have fun. The suffering I played through because I got to a certain point and I was like, I had to keep going. And that game scared. It's not fun. It's little fright. I feel such an overwhelming feeling of I don't want to open that door.
I'm hoping that this game isn't a straight horror game. This trailer feels very horrific,
Yeah,
but I'm
very Resident
hoping
Evil.
that there is more to this game than just a survival horror-y type of vibe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to say we didn't, there's this contextual-based QuickTime events, I guess. But it's like contextual, but it makes me feel like it might involve the Bourne style, like when you're close to this thing that pops up.
Yeah, I mean that's what Indigo Prophecy was. When you're near something that you can use, that comes up. But the real key mechanic that made me very much interested in this game because looks beautiful. Seeing the QuickTime events, I'm kind of over those.
Oh my God.
But what I read about this game that it makes me very interested is that the dialogue system is going to use the 6-axis. So depending on how you bend the 6-axis, that's the dialogue you say. So it's kind of like my jetpack idea that I pitched a long time ago. You can be moving and conversing at the same time. So you can move. You can like run up to a door and say hello, hello as you're running.
Do you
Sounds awesome to me.
Do you know that for a fact? Like that was like a thing that they said was as you're running, you can be like, sup, shit, fuck.
I mean, it's all context based, so you can't just say fuck.
So when something pops up and I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna be like,
you're
oh.
screwed.
I mean, I don't know
That
if it's.
sounds interesting.
I don't know if I'm miming it correctly because I haven't had hands-on time.
Interesting.
But
You go like up to a door. Hello. I love it. I want to actually see video of you playing this game.
well, I'm not sure that's how it works exactly. But
I hope it does. Yeah, I mean, for me, first off, gorgeous.
Right.
Gorgeous. But that said, I mean, no video that has come out for a game. I mean, you know what I mean? Like all
It's not
game
gorgeous.
videos look gorgeous.
Yes.
People have been sued.
this looks especially gorgeous,
I
and it's
know,
all
but-
in-game footage.
Well, I know, but I'm saying people have been sued because their in-game footage looked a little too good. And I've
right.
still yet to find that game.
It's
that
a
I look
little
at the box,
cynical of you.
I'm cynical about this because for many, many, many years, I would look at the box and I'd be like, oh, and then playing it, I'm like, wow, that
All
is
right.
not what it looks like. But anyway,
If it
that's
does look like that, what do you think?
pants off.
I'm not playing this game with you.
My pants are off. Let's play.
You're under the blanket.
Is it the kind of game you think you would like?
It is if it's not just one long QuickTime event. I mean, when I watched it, I mean, obviously it's not. I think the thing that they might have to fight against with somebody who just sees this and doesn't get a chance to read the background is I would go, I am not going to sit down and play 30 hours or 20 hours or 10 hours, a minute of just constant QuickTime events. I walk around, stuff explodes in my face, and I have to hit X, bing, bing, bing. I mean, that's just not a game I want to play.
That's Dragon's Lair.
Right. Probably not this game, but that was the only feeling I got was I just see a lot of one singular buttons as stuff.
I'm
goes
hoping
down.
that it's not a lot. I mean, Indigo Prophecy also had QuickTime events, and it didn't really bother me then. But
Can I just
Having it
say,
being the only fight mechanism is what I'm worried
well,
about.
it's a very short trailer, and that's the only thing
I
they
agree.
showed. But I don't.
let me say, in defense of QuickTime events,
I enjoy me some QuickTime events. I'm just saying, not as a combat
the grain of
system.
salt, I am Mr. Space Ace Dragon's Lair. I played the poop ton out of Time Gal for the Sega
We've
CD.
gone a long way since
But-
Time Gal, my friend.
I love, but let me just say that I do love these things. But there is nothing scarier than the dream we have all had when we are running away and we can't, and our eyes are closed and we can't open them and we're running and we can't see what's behind us in our dreams.
Sure.
You've all had that dream. Well, I think the QuickTime event in this game
Is that dream.
Yeah.
Well, think on that.
So, before we get to our email, we want to thank our sponsors, HBO's Entourage is sponsoring our show, which I have
Hug
to
it
say,
out, bitches.
dude, I am actually quite excited because that's a big. I really do enjoy me some Entourage, and my buddy
Lloyd.
Rex. Yeah, my buddy Rex plays Lloyd. How great! So, Entourage is coming back September 7th, 10 p.m. on HBO. Now, as we all know, the end of last season, Meta Ian, failure, was going to be Vince's big success thing. So Vince is, we come back, Vince is like on a beach in Mexico, trying to figure out whether he should come back to LA and do the whole Hollywood thing, you know, climb up the ladder, all that stuff. Check it out. Now, but the really cool thing, next week, they actually made a Viking Quest game.
That's hilarious.
Like an 80s side-scrolling Viking Quest game, so we're going to talk about that on the next.
It should have been a King's Quest style, like point-and-click adventure.
Well, that would have actually probably taken a lot more development time.
True, but...
But anyway, we'll talk about that next week.
Speaking of great games,
And you owe me $5.
one of my favorite games from the last generation was Mercenaries.
Yes.
And there's a sequel coming out. We played it a little bit at E3, but it is coming out this fall, and it looks very cool. They're sponsoring the show. The cool thing about Mercenaries, the way the first game plays and this game plays too, is basically it's a giant sandbox game where everything blows up. So think Grand Theft Auto, but you're a military guy and you have access to tanks and jets and rocket launchers and you can blow everything up. Like destructibility is their #1 thing, right? It's coming out for all the next gen consoles. It's also coming out for PS2. And co-op. Co-op, jump in, jump out, co-op.
That's all I needed.
Amazing.
Boomsies.
We are also, once again, sponsored by the National Council for Drunk Driving. Last week, against drunk driving. They are not for it.
Neither are we.
Neither are we. Last week, I told you 3 facts they provided us about statistics of deaths involved in drunk driving.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to mention 3 facts about prevention. The first one they mentioned, if you are planning to drink alcohol with friends, designate a sober driver before going out and give that person your keys. Which means, talk to a buddy beforehand, claim that guy's your designated driver. If he says he's not going to do it,
Yeah, Dan will always be our designated driver.
Designated Dan. If he says he's not going to do it, don't just figure it out later. Don't just assume you'll figure it out when you get there, because you're not, and you're going to be screwed. And that's not cool. If impaired, call a taxi, use mass transit, call a sober friend or family member, or use your community sober rides programs.
For my birthday, we went out and got dinner and drinks with me and another couple friend of ours, and I had them come over and we took a cab. I was like, let's take a cab. I was like, why are we not taking? Why would we drive? We're going to a wine bar. Let's just take a cab. And it was easy, about the same cost as the valet.
Cool.
Awesome. Wear your seatbelt while in a car, or use a helmet and protective gear. When in a motorcycle. When on a motorcycle.
Everyone had the same mental image.
Dan without his seatbelt on.
But where?
Dan going through the windshield.
Yeah. I'm covered!
Because those are your best defenses. I do have friends, I've seen, one of my friends still doesn't wear a seatbelt, and I yell, it's like you're being a child.
I'm going to say, cool safety feature on the BMW 335i convertible is...
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. However, if you'd like to give me my next one free, please.
Or one for us.
Don't panic.
I don't need one.
It actually can tell when there's somebody sitting in the front passenger seat. So like if I turn on the car and just go somewhere by myself, it doesn't go ding, ding, ding. But if somebody's sitting in my seat, in the passenger seat, it goes ding, 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 put on your seatbelt.
Guess what?
Crazy. Your car does it too?
My VW.
Nice. Does your car do that?
Oh, ours, yes. Evidently.
Anyway, let's get to the email, shall we?
So, don't be a douche, don't drink and drive, and be a designated driver. Who cares? You don't need to drink on it, and someone else claim it.
Usually that
and
means
own it.
free sodas for you at the bar.
Yeah. And girls love it.
And chicks. You can drive hot chicks home.
I know. All right. To our email. Our email says, hey guys, I've wanted to send you this question for a very long time, and I'm quite interested in the answer. Smiley face made up of 2 punctuations. Attached is a photo of
Are they
me
doing that now?
and my baby brother. Sure taller, but 14 years my junior. By the looks of it, he's some hip-hop mogul, but he's actually a huge geek, just like his big sister. We get along fabulously, but There are those times that an argument will break out. One in particular was after seeing Matrix Reloaded, I was frustrated, confused, and let down, along with everybody else on the planet. Except for Jeff. And Dan, you liked Matrix Reloaded?
And
oh,
keep
and
reading.
her, yeah, or him, yeah. So while my brother felt that I was being short-sighted, and that upon seeing the final part of the trilogy, all would be explained. Parentheses, yeah, in the end, I was right. Epic geek argument ensued, started with raising voices, continued with screaming for an hour. I see you guys get riled up sometimes. True.
I think she did earlier.
Very prescient of her.
But I know that each one of you has had an epic geek argument to share with the TRS fans. Will you share those with us? Peace, Iggy. Thank you, Iggy.
Iggy, super cool forum.
Iggy
poster.
star on the forums.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not on our forums as often as she should be.
Iggy star.
Stop writing the emails and hop on. Fine.
Well, keep writing the emails.
Emails are fun.
Emails are cool though.
So, I can tell you there have been a bazillion crazy,
You're my designated driver, dude.
crazy geek arguments that have started in this room, spilled off into the streets, sometimes into the kitchen where we eat a little because we need energy, and then go back to the streets.
Into the cars,
driving, on the phones, and then, although not like those headsets. So, I'm going to open it up to the floor.
Do you have one? Do you want to bring it up?
Daniel, geek argument.
Well, I was gonna say, that we've definitely had our epic battles in here. Some of them have been televised, some of them not. But
Not suited for television viewing.
yeah. But really, for me, my brother and I are because he was watching movies before I was, and I attained knowledge that we have these giant pissing contests, and I remember the first argument we ever had. This isn't even super geek related, but it was about he wouldn't make a documentary on ventriloquists, guys who. And I got so mad. I said, that's so unethical. You're just gonna make fun of them the whole time, and we were talking about American movie, and I thought like, oh my god, it was so heated, and then. Countless everyone in our planet has been arguing about the prequels versus new trilogy, and I've been slowly whittled away. I used to defend the prequels, and I've slowly been whittled away into being on his team and your guys' team. But
you mean the truth?
I don't even remember what we most recently argumented over. It was something about Spielberg and the amount of successes he's had. Not just amount of movies he's made, but amount of like monumental movies is more than any other director, and I refuted that. And all I know is we spent 3 hours on IMDb going through like Joel Schumacher, that like every director I could think of, like.
Funny.
But see, he's made less movies, but there's some quality ones.
That's really funny.
Pretty epic.
One of my favorite things to do in the whole world is argue.
Yes.
And I think that oftentimes that it escalates to a point where it seems like there's like emotion and rage and unhappiness, and it's not. It's fun for me, but sometimes the other people not so much. And we have. I really, one of the best things about knowing you guys, meeting you guys, and becoming friends with you guys is and Steve too, is finding those like-minded people that are as passionate about this kind of stuff as I am. I remember a long argument we had about Metal Gear Solid 4
I was
in the
sitting
car.
in the car when that happened between you two.
Yeah.
What else? There's been lots of others, right?
Oh.
Yes. You know what the reconcile is usually, even of one we've had
What?
today?
Porn? Is that what you just said?
Porn?
Borat?
Borat.
Oh!
Oh yes.
Wow,
That was
Yeah.
here. I was out
that
of
was Jeff and I. That was my
Yeah.
first.
That was your first big one.
A heated debate.
Yes. I think always, I find that a lot of these arguments, these geek
I
arguments,
was trying to remember what that was about, which is good that you.
a lot of the geek
talked.
arguments where we're all passionate about the same thing is like I find that we're always agreeing. We're just using different words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times it comes from.
Not always, but.
Well, but I think also sometimes it'll come from saying something and then somebody else takes it in a different way than it was meant, and then that's when it starts to like get into we're not talking about this, we're talking about nothing and just talking, you know what I mean?
I think the thing
but I too
No, I disagree.
I think the thing that all of us share, and probably I think one of the things that makes you a geek is you want someone to understand
Yes.
your point of view.
Yes.
And it's frustrating when you feel like they don't get where you're coming from on this, and if they only did, they would agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's part of the geek lifestyle.
That's actually really interesting. I know this isn't quite about argument, but it's also about geek disappointment.
Geekdipointment?
No, I wanted to have this conversation with this guy. I just met this guy who is the assistant editor on Project Lore, which is the.
You just met him?
Well, we just hired him.
Probably been
We just
working a
hired
while.
him. He's very nice. We just hired him, and I went down and I met him in the edit bay, and I looked down and he had a bag that had Munchkin Cthulhu in it. Had just bought it. So I went, huh, that's a great version of Munchkin. And he goes, oh. And I was like, no, dude, I want to have a conversation about Munchkin. I am knowledgeable about this. And he just was like, yeah.
And that's your geek disappointment?
Yeah, I was totally disappointed. I want to have this like geeky.
That brings up a major time we have geek arguments.
Every time we play
Munchkin.
Huge geek arguments. Huge.
The most minute details about
Periods
gameplay.
and commas
That is
are
the
discussed
design.
for
It's designed to be
hours.
there.
Anyway, thank you, Iggy, for the email. If you would like to send us an email, please feel free to do so. fans@totallyradshow.com.
That's also where you would send a background, like this awesome one we got from Matthew. And visit our website, totallyradshow.com. That's where you would find this background to download for your own personal use and desktop, perhaps. You will find templates to submit your own kind of backgrounds. You will find our discussion forums where some awesome people like Iggy hang out and discuss things that they get very riled up about.
I'm riled up about some stuff.
I'm a notorious Matrix trilogy apologist, so I might have to jump in on that debate because even the third, I loved the third Matrix. I thought it was awesome. Anyway, but yeah, go there, do those things.
Also on the website, you can find the movie we're going to review ahead of time, but I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, it's going to be Hamlet 2.
All right.
I loved the first one.
Well, so before we get into the rest of the wrap-up, we did want to say...
real quick, Hamlet 2 thing. I am so embarrassed that I misquoted Othello last week. So, mea culpa. I quoted Macbeth.
Nobody knew.
I meant to say, put out the light, then put out the light, and I said...
okay, no, that's cool.
So, thank you for everybody correcting
You doff.
I know, you guys were... I could tell you wouldn't embarrass me by pointing it out.
Totally.
And it was really... I appreciate it.
After the powder on his face, I didn't want to...
Anyway, go ahead with your big announcement.
Scam School, if you're not watching it, you should be watching it. Best magic show on the internet, in my humble opinion.
Best show on the internet.
I know.
Love Scam School.
Besides ours.
Love
He
it.
puts a nail in his eyeball.
Don't even, just go see it. Scamschool.com, I guess.
Designated
Bust stuff down here. Yeah, designate a nail.
Brian Brushwood
sucker.
is like... I can't
he's
wait to
great.
meet him. I can't wait to meet him.
You haven't met him? Dude, I
met
love
him.
it because he watches the show and that's like, it's great.
I watch his show.
Yes, we do all that stuff.
He completes me.
That said, also, we are going to PAX, as we've said before. Boom.
And we're gonna have our rad swag bag.
Yes.
When we're walking around
Yes.
the floor.
Yes.
So come on up. You better be wearing your Totally Rad Show
Yes,
shirt,
only
which you
Totally
can
Rad Show
buy.
At jinx.com/TRS. However, we also wanted to say we are doing a Totally Rad Show meet up.
Where to your mother?
Yes. It is going to be at Kells. I think it's Kells, Kells Irish Pub. You can check it out at kellsirish.com. Also information here. Saturday night, 7 p.m. We will be there.
Gonna be hanging
with
out.
Bells on.
Yep, come down, say hi.
Please be sure to
The
designate
rad
a driver before you come.
The rad swag bag may not be in effect during that moment because we might
Probably
be a
not.
little bit
Inundated.
But-
Inundated with stuff.
Yes,
With people.
but you know,
Yes.
come down, say hi.
Come down, say hi. Also, follow us up on Twitter, twitter.com/Alex Albrecht.
/Jeff Canada.
/Danny TRS /Steve TRS.
Also,
One
points.
last thing. You have seen in our movie section, our video game section, our TV section, and our comics section for months now, we have featured the fine artwork of one Jarrett Ochi, a good friend of mine and generous guy to amazing artist, and he did all the backgrounds for all of our sections. This is the last week we're going to feature those. We have new ones, so tune in next week and see those new ones that are going to be really cool. I think you're going to love them. But we wanted to take this last episode of having those old ones and say thank you, Jarrett.
Thank you very much.
And we prepared
Amazing.
that song, right, Alex? You were going to sing that song for him.
Yep.
Yeah, and you were backing me up on beatbox.
That's right.
Let's
Here we
go.
go.
We gotta start with the rhythm.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Alex.
no, it's got a 20-minute intro.
And we're out. I can feel it.
Sean Penn. No Way Out, right? Or Vision Quest, or No Way Out? Did you guys see No Way Out? Because you'd love it if you didn't. Did you watch Goodfellas yet? Yeah, you watched Hidalgo.
I did watch Hidalgo, which was a very good movie. I looked right at the camera.
Bubbles
My
in
tongue
it.
is really fucked. No. There's one more chip. There is. Why? It hurts. It really hurts.
An epileptic laugh. No, come on.
I know, I'm ready. Wait.
No, stop. Stop it. Stop.
I am. Give me a second. You saying stop makes me giggle.
Start.
That worked.
Okay.
Hello there, I'm Jeff Zimmerlin, one of the like 12 billion interns here at Revision 3 for the summer. And here's my Revision 3 Back to School Survival Guide. Photoshop is a wonderful thing. You can do so much with it. Like take a picture of that other intern, Kelly Sutton, and put his head on the body of a man wearing a ridiculous costume, and then a scantily clad milkmaid or something like that. Or take a picture of Kelly and throw his head on the body of Princess Fiona, you know, the character from Kelly's favorite movie, Shrek. Or take a picture of Kelly and, well anyways, the only problem is that Photoshop and all the other programs in the Adobe Creative Suite cost so much money. You probably know you can save a lot of money by purchasing the academic version of the software, but did you know there's another way you can save even more money? Well, there is, and it might just be enough to get you off that top ramen diet. I know it's grown on you, but you gotta quit it eventually. It's called the Student Licensing Option, or SLO for short. Here's how it works. Your school makes a deal with companies like Microsoft or Adobe, which allows them to sell software to you at prices that are far cheaper than the academically priced software. Let's take the Adobe Creative Suite Master Collection for example. It includes every software title Adobe makes, from Photoshop to After Effects. The Master Collection usually retails for just under $2,500. That's a lot of money. The academic version is cheaper, but still pretty expensive at $1,000. But with the student licensing option, you can get the Adobe Creative Suite Master Collection for about $500. It's a pretty good deal considering it's a legitimate copy of all the programs Adobe makes for just under $500. Anyways, if you're interested in getting a legitimate copy of some of Adobe or Microsoft's products so you can avoid the classic LimeWire licensing option, then definitely check out the SLO because you can save a lot of money that way. That's my Revision 3 Back to School Intern Survival Guide, brought to you by Jawbone. This little thing is small and easy to use, but best of all, it allows me to make phone calls without using my hands so I can continue to work. Plus, it cancels out the sound of Kelly constantly nagging me to film his good side. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get back to working on my adaptation of The Little Mermaid, featuring my arch nemesis, Kelly Sutton.